There we go. All right, go ahead, Gary.
All right, great. Thanks, Nathaniel. Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see a lot of familiar faces here, as always. We've got a lot of agenda items, and most of them are fairly short, I think. So we'll burn through them pretty quickly. So let me share my screen, and we'll see what's up there, and if we need to add anything to the agenda. Let's see. We've got a couple of our publicity items are live now. We'll go through those. We want to talk about the Hamside conference, since that's coming up really about a month from now. Couple of things going on with our Google groups and a few other places that we want to investigate. And I see Jesse's here today in case we want to talk about the Eclipse Ambassadors Program. Is there anything that anybody wants to add to the agenda, or I'll run back up to the top?
Hey, Gary, do we have a visitor? Aiden, I think it is.
Well, Aiden is well known to the Hamside group, but maybe not to everyone here.
Okay, sorry, it looked familiar, so I probably knew him and just forgot, so never mind.
No problem. Aiden has got a very unique position, and not only with Hamside, but with NIST. So if you want to say a couple of words, Aiden, go right ahead.
Hi. Well, I didn't expect my presence was that notable, but I am Aiden Monterre. I'm a former Case Western student. So for those of you who know David, Christina, and that crowd, I'm friends with them. And I am now a electronics engineer at the National Institute of Standards and Technology in Boulder. And I work in the time and frequency division, and all the things on the wall behind me are not mine, that's my coworkers. And yeah, so my coworkers are the people who run WWV, WWVH. I'm working on other time distribution systems. So yeah, excited to be part. I'm also very excited for the eclipses. I've had April 8th in my memory for quite a long time, ever since David started mentioning it. So I will see you all in Cleveland. But I am looking forward to being a part, yeah. And I've been around for a while. I haven't been on any of the recent meetings lately since I've been getting started out here with my new job, but trying to get back on and be more regular.
Good. All right. Good to see you again. And I know your
In the
name came up
parlance-
this morning on the grape call. Yes, another one.
In the parlance, he's called Rare DX.
We'll take it. All right. Thank you. Let me jump back into the agenda. Okay. One thing, a number of the group a few weeks back or months back helped us work on the NASA Citizen Science site post, and that went live this morning. So we've I'll put the link in the chat if I remember before we're done. But
That looks awesome.
yeah, we've got some nice publicity, and a Hamside member took this photo during the 2017 eclipse. So Bill's getting a little nice credit for that too. So as Ed said earlier to me, so there's no publicity that's bad publicity. Everything helps. So that's one more feather in our publicity cap, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is really good. We're trying to continue to build up the NASA connections. So I think this is very nice. And I'm going to respond to Mark Kutchner as well. I'm just waiting for one more piece of information from some of the other NASA people I interact with, and then I'm going to email him back. So hopefully I'll get that from them soon.
Okay. Let's see. The other thing in the publicity front, I didn't publicize it here too much, but I did write a short article for a club called CW Ops. Obviously, it's a group of hams whose focus is operating CW, whether in a lot of different ways. But I wanted to get the citizen science thing out there in front of them, get the dates for the solar eclipse QSO party in front of everybody, and get a little practice myself of writing an article. And so that's going to be another freebie we got out there.
That looks amazing. Thank you.
Let's see. Sure. Okay, the other thing, and Nathaniel, is there anything you want to cover regarding the conference, since that's coming up in a month?
Absolutely. I have a lot I'd like to cover with the conference. I'll jump to the second point you had there first, which was, have we heard from the ARRL regarding the conference? So the answer is yes. So there's good news and bad news. The good news, the really good news is the ARRL is coming. Ed Hare from the ARRL Labs is going to be here the whole conference, and he's going to be presenting a couple workshops Saturday afternoon. The bad news is Becky Schoenfeld said that no one from her department was able to come in person. However, the good news is that she said that she's interested in an overview article for QST after the workshop. So if one of us, if someone here volunteers to write that article, it sounds like there will be a home for it in QST, which I think is pretty much just as good as having them come. So I'm very pleased with that. Let's see. So then so I have a draft of the HamSci agenda now posted on the website, which I will put in the chat here. And this morning I went and I read through every single talk and poster and presentation on there. And maybe I won't do that this afternoon since some people are already on the call this morning, but I can give you a few highlights, and you can also browse it yourself. But basically it starts on Friday morning, 7 a.m. registration opens, 8:15 a.m. and we have continental breakfast. 8:15 a.m. we have the opening remarks. Then 8:30 a.m. the real talks start. And the first session, I tried to group everything together in some sort of a logical order. I'll talk about the personal space weather station. The second session of oral talks is about traveling atmospheric disturbances and atmospheric modeling. The third session is the one that this group is all about, so I will go through these talks. So this is right after lunch on Friday. This is the big rollout of all of our Eclipse experiments. So this is called Oral Session 3, Festivals of Eclipse Atmospheric Science. And we start off with Gareth Perry talking about a few questions that HamSci can help address during the 2023 and 2024 eclipses. So he's supposed to set up the science. Next, we have Rachel Bodeker from Case Western Reserve University. She's going to explain what we're doing, the NSF funded proposal we have with the grapes. And she is the PhD student who's going to be working on that for the next 3 years. So she's going to introduce that. Then we have our very own Gary McKeaton. Did I get that right?
You got it.
Gary McKeaton. AFAA is going to talk to us about engaging the amateur radio community with the festivals of eclipse atmospheric science. So he's going to roll out the whole solar eclipse QSO party, the Gladstone signal spotting challenge, those sorts of things. Then Nick Patch is not on here today, but I'm hoping that he will give us a virtual talk from Canada about using medium wave AM listening reports and supporting the solar eclipse. Then our friend Gwyn Griffiths from over the pond in the UK will talk about identifying 14 megahertz propagation modes using FST4W, signal to noise ratio, and spectral spread. He'll do that virtually. And then Rob Robinette, who is on this call here, he will in person talk about how we can possibly deploy frequency stabilized transmitters in a network across the US for the eclipse to provide the transmissions we need to be able to make these sorts of measurements. And then we have a coffee break with snacks, probably cookies, I think. And we have one more eclipse presentation right after the coffee break, and that's from Millersville University. There's an undergraduate team over there, Wesley Thomas. They're going to talk about Project Halo, an effort to provide continuous meteorological observations of the April 8th, 2024 total solar eclipse. So that is our main eclipse lineup there. Any questions, comments? Great. So then we end up the afternoon. Christina and Shibaji are talking about solar flares, observations with grapes and super darns. We have Shaf Sarwar. He's a student here who is one of my students, but has most closely been working with Dr. Mary Lou West, who's on the call here. She has been she's been the primary science advisor for his work. and so he'll be giving a talk. We have a couple people talking about auroral things in the afternoon. And then in the evening, we have the keynote with Dr. Patricia Reif, who is also on the call here. That'll be in the grand atrium of the Radisson. How's that look for Friday? Since Saturday, we start off, the actual talks start at 9 a.m. We have the tutorial about SAMI3 from Joe Cuba. So this is the physics-based ionospheric model. And then we have Jesse Alexander, who is over here. He'll be talking about the ham radio project at the National Radio Observatory. And I'm happy to say that I was able to talk live on Zoom to his class. Was that just last night or was that the night before? I think it
that was last night. You're having
feels
too
so
much
long
fun.
ago already. I'm like, was that last night? But yeah, so I really enjoyed getting to talk to his class last night. Then we have a coffee break, and then we have another oral session. We have this team here has actually won the NASA Space Apps Hackathon Challenge, and so Gamal is from Cairo University in Egypt. Matthew is from the UK. Martson is from Poland. I know for sure Matthew and Martson are planning on coming. Gamal is planning on coming pending getting a visa. But they're winners of this NASA hackathon. We have Christina's new postdoctoral advisor, Mike Hartinger, talking about turning magnetospheric data into sounds that citizen scientists can hear. And then we have Ron is on here. We have let's see, we have Ron, and is Bob Reif on here too today? No, but so Bob Reif's going to talk about ham site, great idea, but not a new one. I think this is really cool because in 1957, 1958, the International Geophysical Year, he was just in high school and participated in the ARRL propagation research project that was sponsored by the Air Force. So they did like this citizen science back during the IGY. And so he's going to talk about his experiences as a participant in that. And then Ron, who's on the call right now, he's going to talk about the history and art of DXing and contesting. Then we're going to have lunch. And then the afternoon is supposed to be a lot more hands-on. So no more just oral talk sitting down. We're going to have a poster session. I have some posters on here already, but I am still going to be adding more from Scranton. And anyone else who still wants to add a poster, you're welcome to do that. If you're already giving a talk, you're welcome to also give a poster on the same thing. And then that way it can kind of be up and kind of stand on its own for the weekend as well. So you can just let me know. Starting in the afternoon, we're going to do something a little different than last year. We're going to have these longer 1 hour workshops. So that's where Ed Hare is going to give his talk using propagation analysis, software and antenna modeling to select antenna for receive and transmit sites. So these will be a little bit more like either hands-on or teaching rather than like 20-minute science presentations. We have a number, we've got another one from Case Amateur Radio Club about lecture lines and transmission stubs. We're going to do a few half-hour guided tours. We'll have a guided tour of this amateur radio through the ages exhibit that I've shown the pictures of, where you can see these radios here. Bill over here, most of these are his radios. He'll give you a guided tour of the exhibit. I will give a guided tour of where the new amateur radio station is going to be, and we'll have some of our Scranton students talk about the micromice. We'll have coffee break and snacks. And then we're gonna have another workshop where we'll have coherent CW demo from Case. We'll have a demonstration or some sort of a lecture about teaching undergraduate computer networking with the M17 amateur radio mode. And then we're gonna have a repeat of the guided tours for people who missed the first one. And then there's going to be another workshop in the afternoon. Ed's going to repeat his workshop over here. And then Aiden, I sent you an email about this. Did you read my email? What do you think?
Yeah, what I was picturing was very narrative right now. So gotta think on it. I did see your email. I'm gonna ask around and see what kind of like if I'm gonna do a workshop, I'd want it to be something engaging.
Yes.
And I've got to see what kind of what could I bring that people could engage with. So I'll get back to you today or tomorrow.
Okay. So I have you penciled in here for now. So
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I do really like the idea of doing something interactive. I just don't know what it would be yet. So
that makes sense.
I'll do my best to come up with something and I'll get back to you.
Okay, that sounds really good. Yeah, I think it'd be really nice because we've got so many hours of just kind of talks. It'd be really nice to have. In fact, I'd almost like to expand the interactive part to be even more of Saturday. But I think this is a pretty good balance for now.
Mhm.
And then Sunday morning, Saturday evening we'll have a closing dinner on campus. There's a room that has floor to ceiling windows that overlooks downtown Scranton. We'll have the dinner there. And then we have the visit to the Sunday morning. We'll visit the Steamtown National Historic Site and Trolley Museum. And that'll be at 9 a.m. for anyone who wants to do that. I'll note that both of these museums are in the same parking lot. Steamtown is free. The Trolley Museum is $7 a person. It's $6 if you're a senior, and if you're under like 18 or something, I think there's also a discount. But it's about $7 a person. There is one sad note here, and that is the heating. Ironically, the steam heating system at Steamtown broke down this year, just imploded. And apparently it's sufficiently complicated that it's going to take 3 years to repair. So the inside exhibits at Steamtown are closed, but the roundhouse, the rail yard, and the grounds remain open. So I think what we do is you bring your jacket, we go see these things, and then we walk across the parking lot to the Trolley Museum, which I promise the Trolley Museum has absolutely beautiful indoor exhibits and is well worth the trip. And perhaps you could even argue it's even more interesting to hams and electrical engineers because the trolley system is all about 600-volt electrical systems and not steam. So it's perhaps more applicable. But they're both very good museums. I think you'll really enjoy this. So questions, comments about the agenda?
Sure, it obviously took a lot of work to put this together, so kudos to you for getting this far.
Thank you. It's
You've
always
obviously got some experience at it too.
Yeah, so we've had some experience, and we tweak it each year a little bit. So but it really, I couldn't do it without all of you who are actually giving the presentations and taking the time to come here and doing all of this. So thank you for doing that. And I think it's going to be a really neat exhibit. And there will be a VE session Saturday afternoon as well. So if you want to earn or upgrade your amateur radio license, there will be an opportunity to do that. We will have a special event station running the entire time as well. So the Murgas Amateur Radio Club, they're going to put temporary antennas up on top of the building. And we'll have a special event station run throughout the whole weekend. We have at least 4 of Jesse's students from his program are going to be coming in person. I'm still probably going to be doing things to try and engage more people. I have to figure out how much money I've spent so far, and then if I have more money, I'm just going to try to keep figuring out how to get more students from different places to submit posters or whatever to get the engagement up as best as we can. So, but I think it looks like a really fascinating program. There's an NPR reporter from the local NPR station WVIA. They're coming to interview me next week. Gary, are you able to meet with Neil and me tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, so Gary and I are going to be interviewed by Neil Rapp on his podcast this evening. So we're getting the word out that way. The ARRL knows about it. We'll continue, once we get this more solidified, we're going to continue trying to promote it through all sorts of different channels so we can get other people to come. And I think, I did really try to price it so it's more or less affordable. So like during the day, we have it, yeah, so I guess it's $35 each day. That includes all of the food. So this basically covers all the coffee, cookies, breakfast and lunch, and then you have the dinners as well. So, but I'm gonna try to spend down the grant money as much as I can to get, actual students and local hams and other participants, and then we'll try to get interest from people off the streets as well. Should be fun.
Okay, one question, Nathaniel. I know you have templates for both the presentations and the posters. Are you planning on sending those out to everybody, or should we? I'm sure you don't want us to contact you individually. That'd be kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, so I can, probably not. How about if I can put the links in the chat now for anyone who wants them, and then Gary, you can hang on to them, and people can also contact you.
Yes.
Right, so here I will show. For people who are doing posters or oral talks, we do have some templates. They are not required, but you are welcome to use them. So, presentation templates. So here is the oral presentation template for HamSci. And you can, of course, change the @scranton.edu to whatever your email address is. But so here's that template. So I will just hit, come on. Should be able to share this easily. Share. So we can change this to be anyone with a link. Apply. Anyone with a link can view. So there's the link to the oral presentation template. And then here's the link to the posters. And if you're doing, so the way the posters work is it's a 48-inch wide by 36-inch tall PowerPoint slide, one PowerPoint slide. You know who taught me how to do that? It's Dr. West. She had me do this the first time. So yeah, a 48-inch wide by 36-inch tall PowerPoint slide. And then once you fill everything out, and when you're done, you do a file, save a copy as a PDF. You save that as a PDF, and then you can email me back, or we'll set up a system where you'll be able to put your PDF into a Dropbox, and then we can actually print it here for you at no charge. So you don't even have to pay for your poster printing.
How about if I put something on the regular HamSci mailing list with now that the agenda's out there, and I'll put these 2 links in there too for the agenda participants.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I'll do that tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you.
Well, that was definitely worth the price of admission, getting a tour for that.
Thanks.
Let's see what else we got going here. Not much new to report on the website. We had a lot of 50 and 60-degree weather here in Ohio the last week, so I've been spending a lot of it outdoors. So I'm not feeling
well. It's been good. The website's up and running.
Yeah, it hasn't needed a whole lot. Yeah,
All right.
I've got a couple things to work on next week, but we'll worry about that later.
Yeah, I've
Um,
already shared the website with a number of people, so it's being used.
Fantastic. Should we cancel the Thursday telecons on March 16th, the day before? Because I think a lot of people will be traveling.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, I'll change my calendar. That's easy to do. The first announcement went out on the Hamsai Eclipse announcement only list last week, and amazingly, only 13 emails bounced. And 9 of those had bounced back in 2019. I still had that list. So obviously we'll take those 9 off of there, and the rest of them we'll just give it time because they're people's mailboxes could have been full or something like that. So you don't want to take
Yeah.
them off after only a single bounce. So anyhow, so that's moving forward. Just a quick question, so I don't embarrass myself. I was getting ready to send a note to Dr. Tony Phillips at spaceweather.com,
Yes.
and I didn't see his name in any previous Hamsai events or in papers or anything like that, right? So
No, yeah, I've never actually had the pleasure of meeting him or interacting with him. I've only ever used I've used his website as long as I can remember, starting in Dr. West's class. But I haven't met him, but I would love to meet him.
Okay, good. I've got a pretty short, brief introduction that in a couple of short paragraphs talks about who we are, what we're doing, and ask him if he'll post something on his site and so on and so forth. So I can get that going. Okay.
He's the one that took over from the lady space weather presenter that was at the Huntsville Hamfest.
No,
You mean Tamitha?
Talking about Tamitha
Yeah.
Spoke.
No, Tony Phillips did not take over for Tamitha. He's had his own thing for a long time. And I actually was just emailing Tamitha today, so she's still doing quite well. She said she sends her regrets. She wishes she could come to the Hamsai workshop, but she will be filming a documentary at that point in time. So she's tied up, but she is talking with one of her students to see if her student might come and present a poster. So we might get Tamitha through her student at the conference.
Great. That's fantastic. Yeah, it amazes me how you're able to pull so many people from so many different areas together. And that's one of the beauties of this whole thing. I'm really looking forward to it next month. The last thing I had on there, we had some discussions a little bit with Jesse about the Solar Eclipse Ambassadors program. Is there anything we need to discuss about that today while we're here, or?
We just actually got an email.
Yep, from the person who's who basically is a program manager for students here at NARO, and I mean, I can read it or you can read it, but she laid out pretty. Danielle Rowland laid out pretty clearly where we want to go with this. Well, at least what our interests are. We still have to work out what that looks like operationally. But basically, she's looking to bring some of our students into the ambassadors program. The Eclipse APS is ASP's ambassador program. And I'll share that. Let me share that screen, share that URL in the chat. And what happened here? Garbled. The defense. So that's pretty much it. It looks like it's something that we're doing internally. It looks like from what I'm seeing here.
Did you say you were sharing something, Jesse? Or
yeah, and the problem was the URL got, you know how the anti-spam programs protect the URL by basically trashing it. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to produce a clean,
Oh yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to get a clean URL for the Eclipse Ambassadors Program. Let's see if I can open it in another window. Wow, there it is. Okay. Now I'm going to share the URL, and I might as well share the screen too now that I've got my act together here. This is the program that Danielle is, I guess, spearheading internally at NARO. She's looking to bring some of the interested students from the HAM program involved, get them involved as ambassadors. And I keep thinking of your great field day, Nathan, your field day Eclipse setup. And I keep thinking of ambassadors talking with people, it's sort of a table-like fashion. How to say it, like at a ham fest, I guess that's what I'm thinking of. And somebody's working the rig and other folks are communicating with people and encouraging them to safely look at the Eclipse. So I have to get myself educated up on what this program is about. And I should say, when I first did some research after Danielle spoke to me about it, I found the NASA site. That was the first site I found about the ambassador program. So apparently they're running it as well. So there's a lot of stuff here. This looks pretty rich. I guess we have to figure out how big a bite of this elephant we want to take and what that will look like.
Yeah.
So that's my story. Maybe I should share let me just share her response here. So this is basically, I connected Nathaniel and Danielle, and she's just talking about the role, what her vision is for the program. It looks like she wants the HAM students to apply to the program, and it looks like she's got lots of seats for this program.
Hey,
So there may
Jesse.
be some other things that can be done. Go ahead.
Yeah, just please tell me again, what's the ASP, please?
Oh, the ASP is Astronomical Society of the Pacific.
Okay, thank you. I didn't
Yep.
remember that, so appreciate it.
Yep.
And the Pacific is in, as I read, it was the Pacific Ocean, the west coast of the US. Is that correct?
I believe so.
It's the Pacific Rim.
Oh,
Well, it covers a lot of area.
Yeah, so mainly it's California, but also Japan and whatnot.
oh, okay.
And the Ring of Fire and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mary Lou.
Thank you. So this is new to me. That's basically all I've got there, unless anyone has any questions that I might not be able to answer.
Do you think it's possible to get Tony Phillips to give a talk?
At this ham site workshop?
Yeah,
Maybe. We can also save him for next year because I always have to have a list of invited speakers. So
okay, because he does a lot with the upper atmosphere, the exosphere, and the solar cycle and cosmic rays. The
maybe
effect of the solar cycle on cosmic rays. So the interplanetary medium and that sort of thing.
yeah, he might make. I think it'd be wonderful to have him, but I think it might be really nice to have him as an invited, like either a keynote or one of the invited tutorials. What do you think?
Good idea.
Have you met him?
I've never met him, but I did correspond with him once and by email, and he sent a really good answer. I don't
Mhm.
remember what it was about, but he certainly has a nice website.
He does
That's
have a
right.
nice website.
Yeah,
Very nice website.
spaceweather.com.
And the kind of hook I was trying to draw him with, I said he's obviously got an interest in both STEM and space weather, so which fits with what we do too, obviously. So we'll see what comes back of that.
So one of the things his students do, his high school students out in California, is they send up weather balloons. I wonder how many are going to get shot down by the military.
Yeah, well,
That's a
actually,
good
so
question.
that weather balloon that was shot down was apparently a ham radio balloon.
The one in
No,
Canada.
really?
One
Yeah,
of one of the balloons, yeah, one of the balloons was a Pico balloon.
Yeah, they had an article, there was an article about it that just came out last evening that it matched all the description, the size, the payload, and there was one in that area. I think they said it was like
It was in that area and it hasn't been heard from since.
yeah, it was like on its sixth circumnavigation, I think, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
6 or 7. It's been up for over 100 days.
Yeah, I just kind
Yeah,
of,
that guy.
yep, right there, there's the article.
Yeah, Jules Mady sent this to me.
When I heard last night that it was a metallized mylar balloon, I had a feeling.
The light bulb went on, huh?
I figured it was going to be something like that. I hope they aren't just going to shoot all that stuff down now.
Can you put a link in the chat about that one?
Yeah,
I've got some preppers that I want to just send it to.
there's the direct link I just put in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, I've got a friend who is, waiting for the commies to storm the beach in Miami. And I want to send this to him and just, show him that he can put that one to rest.
Well, that SDR is being used in one of the other classes that my organization is doing. That same dongle. So I guess it's popular.
Oh, it's very popular.
Yeah, the price performance ratio is pretty good.
And since they are transmitting their location and their call sign, does that make them unidentified? Does it say that our government doesn't know about listening?
Well,
That's a very good question, but in this case, the balloon had powered down for the night because it's only operated by solar panels.
Yeah, so it's kind of intermittent according to that article.
Well, now everybody's going to have to file a flight plan for everything, and that's going to get weather service just totally bonkers.
Well, I want to see some of them shot down in China. I'm afraid of that too.
Well, the interagency cooperation will be strained to its limits. And I don't know which department is going to put the regulations in, but
So they're going to shoot down every balloon that escapes from Disneyland.
I will bet once the news media picks up on that ARRL will be flooded with, well, maybe not flooded, but I'll bet they have a lot of interest and phone calls and requests about what it's about and what it is and the whole bit. I would bet.
Yeah, I mean, it potentially shines a negative light on amateur radio, which is very unfortunate.
yeah.
Oh, I think it shines a negative light on our military and how trigger happy they are.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like what, $1 million rock that was thrown at that balloon?
Yeah, 2 of them. I think it took 2 of them.
Yeah. It was
The other thing,
4,000
well, the
apiece.
other thing that's really got me bothered is that nobody's been interviewed at NASA.
Oh,
We
You know,
fly
that's an
those
interesting-
balloons all the time. And are they going to start shooting our balloons down?
Only as long as it's a hot media topic, right? We have a short attention span in this country, so I'm sure they'll move on to something else.
Good point.
And the next time Britney Spears' tickets get clogged up by Live Nation, that'll be the next thing they'll be worried about. So
Or
priority.
HARP trying to destroy the weathers or something. Oh my gosh.
Hey, Gary and Nathaniel, before we move too much off of this, I don't know if it'll have a lot of impact, but it sounds like that Eclipse, that Utah will be fairly prominent, if that's the right word, or that it'll really be going through it. So I've been over the last month and over the next couple of months really trying to reach out to all of the different clubs in Utah. The section manager is a good friend of mine, and he and I are going to be talking about it. And I'm going to be putting an article into his monthly newsletter that he puts out for the state of Utah. So again, just a small ripple in the big pond, but trying to see if we can get Utah interested in participating in the contest.
That sounds great.
Yeah, that is helpful, Ron, especially since you're under or very near the path, because one of our goals is going to be putting the Grape 2 receivers around the country, as you know, and some areas are obviously less populated than others. So it'll be a little bit more of a strain. So it's good to get that information out there now early. I appreciate that.
Yeah, maybe we can have a sale on tinfoil, so it'll be easier and cheaper to put it on, to wear it on our heads, is what I'm thinking. So sorry, I couldn't resist.
Is anybody making plans to go to Roswell for the October eclipse? Or has Sky and Telescope picked out a better spot to see it at?
I'm going to be on the beach at Corpus.
Okay. Well, I had two options. One of them, there's a cruise that's going out of LA that's going down to Mazatlan and going to pick it up as it comes over the coast of the Mexican coast down there. And then I saw someplace, somebody else said Roswell, and then I don't know, they've got places all over this, all over the map. I'm just looking for one that they picked out Madras, Oregon for the last one, just because it had the best almanac as far as cloudy skies, a lot less cloud. It had the least clouded skies and best visual acuity of of that eclipse out there.
The Mazatlan is the total, not the annular. The annular is going to be going into the Gulf of Mexico.
Oh, it is. Okay. Oh, well, maybe it was it was. I'm sorry. It was the 2024 eclipse.
Hey, John, you are welcome to come up to my house. We could have some homemade ice cream, homemade pizza, hang out. And I'll tell you what, it's probably better and more hospitable than Roswell. Just wanted to throw that out.
Yeah. Well, that's one place I haven't been, it's kind of, I don't think it coincides with the annual ground zero day for Trinity.
Well, my backyard's better, John.
Okay. Where are you at?
I'm up in Utah.
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving you a bad time.
Are we in open topics? Because it just dawned on me, there's another event coming up that is sponsored by some of the hams at NRAO. It's the anniversary of the birth of radio astronomy, Saturday, and it's a QSO party. Saturday, April 29th. There's supposed to be some kind of announcement that's coming out about it, but I haven't seen it yet. It hasn't crossed my email, but I will commit to providing more information. Oh, actually, here's a little quote. I'll copy and paste that in the chat. But I think there's supposed to be a website that's coming out, but I don't know that it's ready for prime time yet. So here's some information about it. The students in our program are going to participate. it's a little early for them to have their licenses. So what we'll probably do is use WebSDR, and they can actually listen to the hams and provide signal reports and get a nice, colorful QSL card and or certificate for their participation. So, okay, let's see if that has the date. So that's that. Ooh, no, I did not.
There's an actual Valentine sent by James Clerk Maxwell in 1860 that has all telegraph references it's a poem to his girlfriend. And just Google Maxwell Valentine telegraph. And you'll find about 6 references to it.
Did he employ any calculus? That's what I want to know.
What?
Did he use any calculus in his telegram?
No, but he used a lot of terms, volts and, and joule. And
That's funny.
it's very cute.
Was it successful? Did he actually get to marry her?
It's a good question. I don't know. Probably. There's definitely a geek Valentine for sure.
I like
You
it.
have- Yeah, you have to have the right romantic partner for that one.
I like it a lot.
All right, we're about at the 5 o'clock hour. Is there anything else this week? Otherwise, we'll let everyone go and enjoy their evening.
I think
Oh.
this is all really good.
All right, good. And the other thing, real quick, Nathaniel, I noticed that I had the ability to take control in the participants window today. So apparently that worked. Whatever changes you made. So
Oh, did you right? Did you enter that host key at all?
well, I didn't. You had started the recording already by the time I thought about it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, so I don't think anything different happened. It's only if you enter that host key, then something different happens.
Right, right. But at least I've got the button. I didn't have the button this morning. Whatever. It's gone now. But apparently you're the host. So I've got
Right.
an invite and a mute me button. That's it.
Yeah, right. So if there's no host, then that little button shows up.
Right, right. Okay, good. That was there when we first signed on. So that's working. Great.
Excellent. Great. Thank you so
Okay,
much,
everyone.
everyone.
Have a
And
good
hi,
week.
Ken.
All right, 7-3s. Everyone
7-3,
take care.
everybody.
Bye.